All right, we're on the second lesson of chapter 2. This is going to be 2-2, and it's all about logic, which is what our whole chapter is about, but we're going to pretend just this one. Logic, let's call it logic and truth values. So we have different types of statements. And their truth values. So when we have a statement, we can decide if a statement is true or false. That's our truth value. Okay? But when we combine statements into more than one, then we have to decide that truth value. Now there's two words we can use to describe combining statements. And they're similar to what we use in the English language. One word we use is and. Another word we use is or. All right, I'm going to color code this today, so I'm going to use blue for and I'm going to use green for or. So if you'd like to color code with me, you can pause that video, find those colors. Alright, now we have different symbols for and because we don't always like to write things out every time. And so we're going to work on just the and for now. So I'm going to ignore the or for a moment. For an and symbol, we use like this upside down triangle, almost, without connecting it. It's a little bit like that exponent button that we see sometimes. And because we're putting things together in an and statement, they come together, we call this a conjunction. Meaning it's a junction coming together. Conjunction. So two parts together. Now, so if I say right now it is trimester 1 and you have geometry, both of those things are true. So if it's trimester 1, yep, and you have geometry, yep, all of that statement, the whole thing is true. So if all parts are true, then we know the answer is true. That whole statement is true. Now with an and, as soon as there is one or more that's false, so if I say it's trimester 1 and it's February, right now it is trimester 1, that's true, but can it also be February? And that and tells us it has to be at the same time. Okay, and in February, it's not trimester 1. February is I don't know, 2 or 3. I think it's 2. So if one or more is false, our overall answer is false. Right, now for or, we use a similar symbol, but this time we flip it upside down. We do kind of like this upside down V. Okay, and it's combining things, but it's saying that they're separate because we have an or. Either this will happen or that will happen. So we call this a disjunction. They're a little bit separate. Now, in a disjunction, if I have one or more true, so for example, if I say it's trimester 1 or it's February, we just have to have one of those things being true. It doesn't matter if it's both because we're saying, well, it's either this one or it could be this one. Both could be true, but as long as one is true, we know our overall truth value is true. However, if I have all are false, So if I say it's summer or it's February, right now, is it summer? Nope. Right now, is it February? Nope. So neither work. If they're all false, then our answer is false. Okay, we have one more vocabulary word here before we start our examples. Okay, and our next word is the word negation. And that comes from that word negate. So if you negate something, that means you're going against that. Okay, so a negation is the opposite meaning. You're going against what it means. Okay, a lot of times we use the word not. Okay, and I'm going to color code this one orange because I like orange. So negation. And I'm going to highlight that word not. That part is really important. Now again, we don't like to write out negation every time. So we use this little squiggle in logic. And that little squiggle tells us it's a negation. So for example, if I have can, the opposite of can, the negation is cannot. Okay. The opposite of does is does not. Now what's interesting though is that these can go both directions because opposite allows us to do that. So if I started with cannot, the opposite of can't doing something, you can't do something, is that you can do it. Okay, so if I started with is not, the opposite of is not is just is. Alright, for our example, we're going to have 3 statements, and our examples are going to be to write the statement, and then determine the truth value. So we're going to have 3 statements to start off with. Okay, statement A, we have soccer is a sport. We have B, it is trimester 2. And C, it is not 5 p.m. Okay, so before we even start, let's talk about those truth values. Remember, truth value just means is it true or is it false? So soccer is a sport. Is soccer a sport? Yep, it is. So that's true. It is trimester 2. Well, right now we just started school, and when we start school, it's trimester 1. So this one's false. Now this one you have to be careful because you have that word is not. So it is not 5 p.m. So right now you got to check your time. Hopefully you're not watching this at 5 p.m. because otherwise it won't work. Okay, but right now, currently, when I look at my watch, it is not 5 p.m. Right now it's 10:23. Okay, so since it's 10:23, I say that's true because it isn't 5 o'clock. All right, we're going to do 3 statements here. So if you have enough space, you can do that. Otherwise, you might need to flip back and forth. Okay, for statement number 1, I want to do A. And then I'm going to do this upside down corner thing. And then I'm also going to do a B. So what this tells me to do when I write out that statement is I'm going to start with statement A. Soccer is a sport. So I'm going to start by writing that out. I'm going to capitalize that S because it's a new sentence. Soccer is a sport. Now I need to think back to this symbol. What did that symbol mean up here? That one is an and. So when I see that, I'm going to color code that. And I'm going to put that word and in between. And then I need to say my statement B. And statement B is, it is trimester 2. Okay, so for an and statement here, we have soccer is a sport. We said that's true. And it is trimester 2. That's false. For an and statement, an and means together. So together they have to be true, or together they're false. So if I go back up here, if they're all true, my answer is true. But if one or more is false, then my answer is false. So since I have true and false, that tells me my answer is false. They either all have to be true, or if it's just one or more that's false, then our answer is false. All right, number 2. Number 2, we have B. And then we're going to use this symbol, C. I'm going to write it actually right afterwards, otherwise I'm going to run out of space, and I want to keep it on the same page. So B, I'm going to start with statement B, is it is trimester 2. And then I need to look back at this symbol. When it's an upside down one like a V, that V is our or. So because that symbol means or, I'm going to throw in an or sign, or the word or, and then I want C, and C is it is not 5 p.m. Okay, so let's determine their truth values. It's trimester 2. We said, nope, that's false. It's trimester 1. Or, it is not 5 p.m. And that one we said was true. So for an or statement, that's not saying that both have to go together. It's saying either this one, or that one, or both. So for an or, if one or more are true, our answer is true. But if they're all false, our answer is false. So do I have any that are true? Yep. I have that it's not 5 p.m. So my answer would be, or my truth value is true. All right, last one, number 3. I'm going to try and sneak this one in. So if you have just a couple lines, try your best to sneak it in. This one I have B. We're going to keep that upside down V. We're going to do a squiggle, and then a C. Okay, so first thing I am going to start with is just B. So B says it is trimester 2. Then I have this symbol that's like a V. I color coded it green because I just looked at number 3. But that V tells us it's an or, it's a disjunction. So I'm going to throw in the word or. Now I have this squiggle. Remember that squiggle tells us it's a negation. So negation means we have to do opposite. So opposite meaning. So if I have it is not 5 p.m. If I want to do the opposite of that of saying it's not 5 p.m., remember is not goes with is. So it is 5 p.m. I'm going to do that orange and that is, because we switched it from is not to is. We could put another not in there, is not not. It's kind of a goofy way of saying it. But we know two nots would make a true. I just like to think opposite of is not is. So it is trimester true. You said that was false. Now for the 5 p.m. originally we said true, but the true was when it was not 5 p.m. Now we're saying it is 5 p.m. And when I look at my watch right now, it's 10:30. So since it's 10:30, it's not 5 p.m. So this is false. So both are false. In an or statement, I need one or more to be true in order for true. So if they're all false, the answer is false. All right, and then there is a practice in Schoology that you're going to work through. You got it. Try your best. When in doubt, go back to kind of this top part here, this flow chart that tells you how to think through it.